Those who quote from the Bible for their morality always selectively quote. That was the point of the Dr. Laura letter. They always quote selectively. Is there anyone in this room who would execute gays? Is there anyone in this room who would burn witches? Is there anyone in this room who would stone recalcitrant children? Of course not. Then why do you pick that particular biblical verse about homosexuality? You are misusing the Bible to serve your own political agenda. And that is a graven image.
Can I point something out here? I'd like to point something out here that I find very interesting. See, because what I am fighting for is not the right to impose my moral belief on homosexuals. As a matter of fact, I have expressed my view that the use of coercion to impose my moral belief on homosexuals and others would be wrong. So to characterize my position in that way is totally wrong. But what's interesting, now think about this, y'all. No little subtitles under our discussion here. He keeps saying that that's what I'm going to do, and then he does it. He stands here and says, not that I believe I don't have the right to interfere with the private activities of others. I don't have the right to go out and do any kind of violence against anybody on account of their sexual orientation. I don't have the right in any way to contravene their basic rights and civil peace and property in any sense whatsoever because of my moral judgment about their sexual activities. Have never claimed it, would never claim it, and would defend to the death the right of individuals to be free of that kind of coercion. But you know what's fascinating? What he just told you is that he wishes to take away my right to believe that that activity is wrong. He wishes to take away my conscientious understanding. And sure, we can stand here and we could debate biblical passages and we can trade views and we can do this and that. That's part of the wonderful freedom of expression in this country. But the other part of that freedom of expression is that when we get down off the stage, he gets to live according to his rejection of the Bible, and I get to live according to my affirmation of its beliefs. And what he has just told you is that it is his intention and his agenda to take away not my right to do, but even my right to believe. And I've got to tell you, that's exactly the road down which they wish to take us. And that is totalitarianism, which seeks to control, not just action, but attitude and opinion and conscience, and to take away the right even to hold a belief that Mr. Dershowitz believes is incorrect. Well, I'll tell you something. I still thank God again that it is God from whom I get my unalienable rights, not the tender conscience of Mr. Dershowitz, because apparently my right to believe in the Bible and to make my moral judgments according to my understanding of God's word and will is precisely what he intends to take away.
You know that's not right.
It's what you just said.
My turn. You know that with Voltaire, I would die for your right to express your bigotry anywhere. But I would never take away your views.
That's not what you just said, Alan.
David Duke's views. I would never deny anybody the right to express bigoted viees. Wait a minute.
You know what? I wish we could do a replay.
Let me finish. We need a replay.
We need a replay. We need a replay. You said the words, sir. You said the words that I do not have the right to make that judgment that homosexuality is wrong. You spoke the words.
Let me tell you what I said.
Thank God, there's a tape here. We'll show it.
There is a tape. Let me be very clear. You have the right to express any views you choose. If you express the view that homosexuals who engage in homosexuality in private is immoral, I accuse you of bigotry, and I defend your right to that bigotry, but I do not defend your right to impose that bigotry on others. You know that I defend the right of every bigot to express views anywhere in this country, including you.
You see this again, neither I nor others claim that right. I do not claim the right to govern your behavior or their behavior. I do claim the right to govern my behavior, to govern the behavior of those accountable to me and my family, and to join in free association with others in my associations and my religious communities.
I support it.
To act according to those beliefs that are according to the will of God as I, in conscience, understand it. And you just said you wish to take that away.
I never said that, and I never would take it away. I want to ask you one direct question. Do you support sodomy laws? Do you support sodomy laws?
Actually, it has been my long-standing public position that I do not believe that laws that require that we go into the private bedrooms of people for their enforcement are feasible, and I have not supported those laws.
No, that's not. I'm not talking about feasible. I'm talking about.
Excuse me, I answered your question. You simply said, do I support the laws?
You answered the question in terms of feasibility.
I don't. See, here again.
Would you vote for a statute?
Hold it. I want y'all to understand.
Would you vote for a statute that declared it to be criminal to engage in sodomy?
I want you all to understand what continually happens. And I don't think it's just with Mr. Dershowitz. I think it's with a lot of folks like him. I just said that I reach a conclusion. I state my reason for reaching it. And then, even though the conclusion is clear and he would accept it, that we shouldn't have sodomy laws where we try to dictate what people are doing in their bedroom, he now wants to dictate my reason for supporting it. What kind
I don't want
of
to
tyranny
dictate it,
is
I just
this?
want to understand it.
Instead of having closing statements, we're going to have one final question. And each of our speakers will get 2 minutes to respond, and they'll get the same question. And next year, the moderator will have a whip. He will have a gavel, but most importantly, he will have control of the microphones. To both of you gentlemen, how can believers and unbelievers best work together for a better world? Mr. Keyes and then Mr. Dershowitz closing.
I think that believers and unbelievers can best work together on the basis of understanding the limits of our own claims to make judgments about right and wrong. The whole thrust of everything I have been trying to get across this evening is that I believe the common ground on which we stand, at least in America, is that because we are in the face of a tribunal beyond our power and will, we must accord equally to all others rights that we must respect, and on the basis of that mutual respect, move forward to work together in those areas where we can cooperate. Second, I also believe that it's necessary to do what I think the founders intended us to do. Instead of trying to impose homogeneity in terms of religious conscience and views, what they said was, there shall be no imposition at the national level, but at the level of communities at the state and local level, of course folks can get together and work together to realize a positive vision of the moral good in their community. I think that that's what the Constitution was intended to guarantee and what liberals today are seeking to destroy. In a society in which we work together on the basis of mutual respect and work separately on account of that mutual respect in communities shaped by positive moral visions that we may not share, we can get along in peace even as we pursue those goods on which we cannot always agree in terms of the meaning of happiness, salvation, and those larger purposes of human life that justice must respect, but that it cannot always achieve.
Now, I need to translate for you exactly what Dr. Keyes was saying. He said the First Amendment forbids the national government from establishing churches, but allows each state to establish an official religion for the state. That is what he said. You may not like it, but that is what he said. He said that the Constitution forbids the national government, but people at the local level can get together and establish churches. That is the established right-wing view here. And if that's his way of solving the problem, If Pennsylvania is going to establish one religion and New York another religion, it is a road and an invitation to disaster. Just one final word. Only one really bad word was used here today. Dr. Keynes called me a liar. He called me a liar, and the tape will show it, because he said that I lied when I said the Boy Scouts were a Christian organization, and yet they let me in as a Jew. Remember what I said. I said I did not believe the Boy Scouts were a Christian organization. He said they were a Christian organization. And the best proof that they were not a Christian organization is that they let me in. You know, the 10 Commandments says, "Thou shalt not bear false witness against the neighbor." Don't judge all religion by what you've heard here tonight. Yes, believers and non-believers and skeptics can all live together and get along. But there cannot be an imperialistic imposition of religion by the state or by the church. All people must be equal: believers, skeptics, disbelievers, atheists, and those who choose religion. Unless we are all deemed equal, and unless the morality of disbelief is deemed the equivalent of the morality of belief, we will simply be tolerated. And that is not the American way. Thank you. The American way. Thank you.
The Boncheck Center was created to bring before the public significant open-ended issues involving reason, faith, and ethics. Our purpose is to allow formidable thinkers on all sides of significant issues to present their views and foster human reasoning at the highest levels. In this, our first Boncheck debate, I think we have succeeded. You've heard a great deal here tonight, but reason involves reflection. If you leave here with your prejudice merely massaged, this evening will have failed. The purpose of this evening was to get you to think, and never forget what Voltaire said, as Dr. Dershowitz mentioned, "I disagree with everything you say, but I would give my life for your right to say it." I want to thank you for coming, and I want to announce that on Wednesday, November 27th, Professor Manning Marable of Columbia University will end this series with a lecture on globalization and economic justice at home and abroad. Personally, I want to say, in my 35 years at the college, I have never spent such an intellectually stimulating and exciting evening, and I thank our speakers.
You are absolutely right to applaud our speakers. It was a wonderful evening. Nobody ever said this discussion would be easy. Nobody ever said that every word would be pleasant. That's not the point. If somebody goes away from here and hears that intellectual discourse, the discussion of values, the discussion of ideas on American college campuses is not alive and well, tell them about this evening. Nobody is saying what you must believe. People are saying, talk about it, discuss it, think about it, analyze it, find out what the truth is, and believe it and act on it. Please take that away from this. Take away a commitment to talk about these issues some more, to write letters to the editor, to participate in community discussions. We hope that's part of what the Boncheck Institute gives to you. I'd like to recognize just a couple of people. Number one, our provost, Bruce Pipes, thought up the idea of the Center for Liberal Arts and Society, and I want to thank Bruce Pipes for that leadership. Number two, he didn't have a gavel, but boy, he did pretty well without one. Stan Michalak, thank you for your moderation. And again, we thank the doctors, Rita and Lawrence Boncheck.